Over the past few years, this man's changed his rap name, started a collective, and released the EP Heroes Eventually Die. Welcome to the Bar for Bar podcast, and my guest today is Kevin Allen. Thank
Oh,
you,
what is?
Kevin, for
Good
joining
morning.
us
Good
today.
morning, man.
Good morning. How are you doing today?
I'm cool. Cool. I'm good.
That's
Appreciate
good.
it. And that hat, I like that
I like
hat.
it too, man.
You know what I
I was
mean?
actually telling my significant other the other day, like, yo, this is my favorite hat now. I got to retire the other ones.
Straight up. Straight up.
So you are joining us today to talk about your latest EP, Heroes Never Die, Heroes Eventually Die. I keep getting that one mixed up for some reason, but got a few questions off IG, but also just some general background questions.
hmm
Uh, let's just start off with the IG questions because, like I mentioned before we started recording, just not a whole lot of them. So it's really just two. The first one I got was actually related to Grand Nationxl rather than Heroes Eventually Die, but it was something that I was going to bring, or I was going to bring up Grand Nationxl anyway. So the question is, do you feel the critique of lack of women on the project Twice on Sunday is a valid critique despite open invites?
Um, no, I think it's absolutely ridiculous. I go into it with some level of empathy that people don't understand how putting together projects or albums works. I understand that. So I don't take a lot of things personal per se, but I do think it's unwarranted. There's so many classic albums, and there's so many albums that will never be classics that have no women on them whatsoever. And if they are, they're either being disrespected, they're either being used as place fillers or just kind of off to the side type thing. So even with having an open invite, a lot of women in the Bay that I've reached out to that were maybe they just were busy, it didn't fit the schedule, they didn't see the vision. I can't really speak to any reason why a woman would not have, decided to come. But the one woman that came for season one, Kate, she jumped on and she continuously and consistently showed up. So for me, gender didn't matter, race didn't matter, like all those things didn't matter to me. When
For
you're
sure.
working in the studio and you're trying to put together a project. So it's kind of like, you go to a restaurant and they serve burgers. You're like, well, how come you guys don't have pizza? Like, well, Wu-Tang didn't have, or whoever else you want to name didn't have women, and we're uplifting women in the rec. It's just kind of weird when people say that. So, yeah, the short answer is, yeah, it's a little bit weird.
Yeah. The other question that I got was just about your recording process in general. Like, how's that, or what goes into that exactly?
It changes. Like different artists use different mediums, or a sketch artist might use pencil, then he might use paint, then it might be clay, it might be one line, like Picasso went from drawing amazing, realistic photos to just lines and abstract features. You know what I mean? It's all over the place. Sometimes we go in there and we just freestyle it in the booth and punch in. Sometimes we take with Grand Nationxl, we take our time with but that's not all the way true. We just write it down because there's so many of us. We don't have the luxury of taking our time in the booth. So I'll just write my verse as quickly as possible so I can make sure I get on the song. Because if I'm not fast, then I'm just gonna get left off the song.
For
So
sure.
that's kind of the process with that. But as far as Heroes, I took about a day to write the first four or three or four verses. So it took a day apiece, maybe on each verse. I remember kind of just
Mhm.
making sure that the words were where I wanted them to, and the lines hit in the specific places. But most songs we just write in the studio on the spot, and whatever it sounds like, that's what it is. You know what I mean?
For sure. That's kind of what I imagined it, especially with Grand Nationxl. Like, there's just so many people there. You gotta Gotta get you're writing down and make sure you're ready when your time's up.
Yeah, if you're not ready, it's over. You'll get left off.
All right. So those were the questions from YG. Now let's just go into let's start from the beginning, I guess. So for people who aren't too familiar with your work prior to Grand Nationxl, prior to Kevin Allen, what sort of information you want to disclose, I guess, to them?
Formerly Irk the Jerk, Bay Area. Um, I started off just as an MC, as a producer, trying to
Mhm.
craft my own sound, trying to craft a lane to be a regular guy slash, rapper. I'm just a rap nerd kid. So, my first and my only publishing is Hood Nerd Music. My first albums were Hood Nerd mixtapes. Um, I just ran up and down the Bay passing out CDs and shit. And when that was a thing, so I just kind of been in it for a while, and it's what I have fun doing. It's a very competitive rap person. You could probably hear it in Heroes. There's a lot of bars that are just for fans of words. And there's some, lugs I'm trying to offer to folks as well. But yeah, just a rap kid, man. Had some radio success. Um, yeah, that's it.
For
Just
sure.
just to fuck around with the music and the bars, man.
Right,
So I'm on this podcast.
right. And what made you change your name to your actual name? I
Eric
mean,
the Jerk.
well, from Architect, I guess.
I mean, it just was my actual name, and my specific reason. And I know some rappers do it. It's like, why did he go back to his girl? He's getting serious now. It's like, what I mean? I understand what it looks like to people who are just used to doing one thing. But that's kind of the thing. Like, one, I gotta rebrand what I would consider my personality. You know what I mean? Like at one point in time, that is what I was on. And it was disrespectful. It was a little bit of a jerk. It was completely oblivious to how other people felt. It was just, you know.
Yeah.
And then you grow up a little bit, and I got way into art. I got into education. I got into just different. And I was like, you know what? I did a photo shoot for architecture, and the architecture photos ended up in a nice hotel in San Francisco, like super, super nice. And
Wow.
each floor, when you got off the elevator, you would see a photo that either I or my homie Fly Commons took, and maybe 15, 16 floors.
Oh, that's dope.
And I had to sign them all Irk the Jerk. And I was like, that didn't feel right. You know, that just didn't feel right.
Hmm.
Like my kids are going to go, what? So it was just time,
For sure. So
you
it
feeling
was
boxed in.
basically it was kind of like a growing up sort of thing then.
Yeah. I mean, it was just time. It was just
Right.
time. You don't, wear the same shoes all your life,
For sure.
rebrand. I saw a lot of Coca-Cola gets a new can,
Yeah.
Puppy is Diddy, you know.
For sure. It was time.
Yeah, it was time, man. I couldn't die. It was a ridiculous name. I could like it was just ridiculous. I'm not gonna die and be like, the jerk was here. Like
I mean, I guess that was just a product of the times too, though.
yeah, I mean it was, a long, long time ago. My homies in school like gave me this name. It was just
Mhm.
like, But it was
For sure.
shout out to like Keep the Sneak. You know what I mean? It was Irk the Jerk, Keep the Sneak. Like it's like
Yeah.
it's like a Bay Area, like an ode to Bay Area, like shit.
Yeah, it's definitely
My
a very
homies
Bay
thought it was
Area
funny.
sounding name.
Yeah.
That's dope. And I know you mentioned you were starting to get into art and stuff. I know that you're hell into photography now too. Was that just
Yeah, I
kind
used
of
to draw
part
a
of the
little bit.
whole thing, or was that
Yeah,
always there?
always like maybe, early teens, late teens, I was just into it, and I just wanted to take control of um, how my image will be portrayed. People start taking photos of you, and it doesn't look how the photos in the Source magazine looked or Double XL look. I'm like, man, this don't look right. So I got to figure out how it works. So if I'm gonna be a, you know what I mean, in the music industry, I need to know what's good and what's bad and how to shoot a good video, shoot a good photo. So I just started like, learning that type of shit.
Sure, that's dope. And it makes sense. You got to make sure you know what they're doing too.
Yeah, I seen some whack shit. Like, man, this is what you saw. Like, I can't put this on my album cover. This is terrible. So I was like, man, fuck it. I'm gonna learn how to,
Did you end up
learn this
doing
shit.
some photo shoots for yourself then, or
Yeah, the one that I posted for the being accepted into the Grammy Foundation thing. Like, I took that photo myself.
sometimes you got to
Right,
do
I mean,
that.
yeah, man.
That's dope. uh, I guess moving forward, how did how did you get the idea to form Grand National,
Um,
or where did that sort of come up from?
I wanted, well, the long version or the short version.
Let's start with
What
the
do we
short
got
version.
time for?
We can do
Short
both,
version.
but
Short
I know some
version
listeners
is,
tune out.
yeah, damn, for a podcast. That's crazy.
They do sometimes. Let's just give them
I'm
both
sorry.
options. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I know people's attention spans are short, but you tune into a podcast and then tune out because the person starts talking too long. See, this is where Irk the Jerk would just. But anyway, I was in Atlanta and LA a lot.
Mhm.
2014, 2015, I almost moved to Atlanta, and but the way they worked and the workflow was so fast because they could just call a guitar player and then call another rapper and call a singer. 2007 or so, I was in LA and I did a demo with 1500 or Nothing, which is a crazy band who plays for like Stoop and just all crazy. They did Nipsey's last project. They're just incredible musicians. So one of my homies took me down there, introduced me to them, and they would just pick up the phone and call people, and they would just pull up to the lab and just make the song bigger and better and bigger and better. So we go up to the Bad Boys and the Timberland, and I've never saw a documentary where it wasn't just hella people in the studio making a dope album. So I
Mhm.
would have people around me on my solo projects, but not an influx of people at once. So I was like, yo, come to the lab and play some records. Like, everybody come through and play what you got. Like, let's just really work together. Let's really do what people say they do. And then that was it. It just I don't know. It came together and just started sounding like something. So yeah,
Nice.
there it is.
So it was really just hitting people up and seeing who came through then, right?
Yeah, for real.
So that's what's up. And then obviously it's making sure that you guys can connect on a musical level too, to
Yeah,
some degree, because not everyone has to have the same sort of chemistry. But if other people in that room have chemistry, that's dope too, right?
it it really was like I don't want to miss being on this song. Like, he's dope, she's dope, he's dope. He got bars. He wrote hella fast. He didn't write at all. He just went in like. So the that's where the wolf is. Like, we're not gonna ask nobody, can we get on the song? Is it cool if I get on this? Your verse better be ready and it better be fire. Because you got somebody coming before you that's better, somebody coming after you that might be better than you. So you got to step up and meet the challenge. So it just makes everybody better around us. And then everybody's solo. You know what I mean? Everybody's solo and still cooking on their own. So that's what makes it amazing. It's not. That's why it's not a group. You know what I mean? We're not. I mean, yeah, technically we're a group of
Yeah.
people, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. You're like you're more like a crew than like a
Yeah,
specific like rap
yeah,
group.
like
And
exactly.
I'm sure having like, well, I know just having a lot of people in a room during a sort of creative process definitely pushes you to do your best. So I'm sure that definitely added to the whole project too.
Hmm.
And then I know Twice on Sunday was volume one. We are getting more volumes, right?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, seasons.
Right. Yeah, that's what I
So
meant.
the seasons change, things change, hot, cold, kind of cold, really hot. You know, so we'll see what's up. I mean, we did the behind the scenes
Mhm.
fairly quickly after season one to insinuate we have the capacity and the capability to drop music, quality music, very fast at a very fast pace. And then, of course, Heroes and East Shore, it's DJ D Sharp, Monty Draper, Brookfield Deuce, they're dropping a project.
Mhm.
Jane Hancock is dropping a project. Tambourina's already dropped. D Bledsoe has just dropped. Um, so, yeah, we have the capacity to put out a lot of music with the core people that are waving this flag. So, yeah.
Yeah, because you guys are for sure busy. All right, moving on to Heroes Eventually Die. I have to ask, did you get the title from Outcast?
Yeah, most definitely.
For sure.
It's just paying homage to Outkast, really.
For
It's
sure.
yeah, it's been sitting on that idea for a long time, just waiting for the right music that matched um, the frame of mind, the spacing, the time. You know what I mean? I didn't want to drop a project like that, or when people were ignorant to themselves.
Mhm.
So I took a lot of time to kind of learn who I was, learn what I wanted, learn what I didn't want as a rapper, as a man, as a father, as all these different things. So COVID hit, and I had this music and I was just working on it and kind of fine tuning it, and I just started shortening it up
Mhm.
and just decided like this was the dose that I wanted to like return with. It's been a few years since I actually put out some music, so like solo music. So
Nice.
it's just shout out to Outkast, man, like big influences in just culture of rap.
For sure. And then, so does the title of the album, other than the Outcast relation, have a another meaning to you? I guess.
Yeah, so for me, what it meant was when I sat with the lyric, it meant the hero that you believe yourself to be is gonna die soon. When you really become true and honest with yourself, in my belief, who I thought I was, whether that be Irk the Jerk, whether that be um, I wouldn't say flaw. We all have flaws, but the ego tells you it's not your fault. The ego tells you it's never you. You know what I'm saying? So for me, that hero has to die. You have to kill yourself in order to be born again. You know what I mean? Per
Right.
se, like what I mean, not biblical, but to really come from that. And then also your heroes, where I'm from, heroes die if you don't honor them, if you don't keep waving a flag. You wait till people pass away to give them their flowers. Like they're gonna die, and then you're gonna be sitting there, kind of like, man, I should have, I could have. Well, how come I didn't? Why didn't I? All that type of shit. So it's both. However you see whatever hero is to you, in the literal sense, they'll eventually die if you don't continue to raise their name up and praise them and give them their flowers. And on the personal tip, when you think that you're the hero and it's always someone else's fault, it's gonna be a lonely fall. And you're gonna die alone.
Yeah, no, that makes the context of the album make a lot more sense too, just based on like the lyrics and everything. Like, there's a lot of stuff that you touch on that's like referencing some of your past, and then just other people in general. So that's dope. Like that description makes a lot of sense in the context of the album. Um, I know for some of it, it was put on Seed 5, I believe it was. Was
Oh yeah,
that
late.
was that intentional? Like, was that just um like was that meant to be on this project, or was it just it happened to be that it
Yeah, I
was on
want to
both?
just give. It was a small clip. It was maybe
Mhm.
like half that that length. So me and Basta came together and did that a while ago. The Seed Project, shout out DJ Basta, Roots and Branches. We had already been working together, had a working relationship outside. Like we were both in education,
Mm-hmm.
and we ended up coming together and just making some music. He had the lathe cut similar to a record vinyl, but just different material. So
Mm-hmm.
it was wearable, like playable art. So the more you played it, the less it would sound good.
Hmm.
So it kind of wore down like a new shirt or a pair of shoes. Eventually, you wouldn't be able to wear it and play it anymore. So that was kind of the concept behind it. So I knew that those we sold 50 copies of the lathe cut as art.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't have a million pieces of art floating around. You have just a few, and then the people that have them, and then that's it. Like there is no more. So now some time has passed. I added more songs, just extended the project a little bit, give it new life. You know what I mean? And allow people that the other people who did not hear it because it's only 50.
Yeah.
Let everyone else, hear what we were working on.
For sure. And just, well, keeping on that subject, how was the recording process for that different? Because I know it's like, it's normally, well, with the seed sort of things, it's like about 5-ish minutes with a bunch of different beats. Is it just that Bossa plays all these beats for you back to back and you just go? Or like, are these just parts of the instrumentals that you chose to rap on? Or
No, I mean, I picked the beats and then I figured out how to make them blend.
okay.
So take this song, blend it into that one. Take this song, blend it into this one. So if you listen to the first, up until last year and the year after, if you listen to them, the top to that song, they all just bleed into each other like
Hmm.
almost seamlessly. So that's the idea for me to just different beats at different times. We just put them all together.
For sure. And I did also notice on Heroes Eventually Die that a lot of the tracks were fairly short. Was that intentional?
Yeah. We just because it was still built in a seed um, model as
Hmm.
far as shortening the project so it could fit on the lathe cut album because only a certain amount of songs could fit. So I touched some of those songs and I repurposed them and I extended some of the verses and added different things to them so it could be a little bit longer and added more bars, of course. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
But yeah, the whole point was to keep it short.
For sure.
We don't want kind of what you're saying about the podcast. We know people tune out if you don't catch them. You don't catch them right away
Yeah.
because everyone's so busy during COVID. You know what I'm saying? Staying indoors.
Right. That's actually one thing that I like tend to bring up in my reviews in general, just like how long the album is, because I know so many people are just be like, "Oh, damn, this album's like an hour and a half. I ain't got an hour and a half to listen to this." But
Because, uh, well,
I mean,
Irk the
sure,
Jerk.
but
If Irk was here, he would say, you don't have to listen to albums all at once.
yeah,
There's no rule that says you have to sit down and press play and give an hour of half of your time. You can listen to 2 or 3 songs here and there
yeah,
whenever you choose.
yeah. There's no
It's
right way
pretty
to listen to
simple.
music.
Yeah, not anymore. You know what I mean?
Right.
But we definitely, like Grand Nationxl definitely is targeting the people that love music enough to do so. If a fan feels forced to listen to it for an hour and a half, then you're kind of missing the point. It's supposed to be enjoyable. So if you don't trust the artist or you don't like rap music, then you probably shouldn't listen to music. Go listen to something else that you know what I mean. Whatever you like to do for an hour and a half, whether that be go shopping, arguing with your girl, washing dishes, washing clothes. There's a million things you do for an hour and a half that are not productive. Like you know what I'm saying,
Yeah.
that are just way worse than listening to music. So if you can't play somebody's album while you're doing tasks and shit like that, then you're just a fucking weirdo.
That's for sure. Because I mean, I personally tend to not like. I mean, because I listen to albums just straight through, and I know a lot of times when it comes to longer albums, I'm just like, oh man, just because it's not because I don't like the music. I just feel like a lot of times albums are kind of padded with extra songs that aren't really benefiting the artist, I guess you could say.
Hmm.
So I know, like, and that's one of the things I mentioned with the Grand Nationxl album when I reviewed it. It's like this, I wish it was longer. Like it was like I
Right.
think 40 minutes or so, and I was just like
Hmm.
wanting more still.
And that's we just trim the fat. I don't want to sit through no weak ass shit. So when I play Grand Nationxl album, I'm like, damn, this song is weak. Take this off. Like it's not even. It's not. That's why we kind of remove the egos. There's no sense in us fighting over a bar or a song or somebody's verse if it just doesn't keep up with everything else, and it has nothing to do with the individual or the person. Like I'm gonna like, man, do I need to, I gotta change that bar. That bar doesn't sound right. So we go back in and change it. That verse doesn't take that. Shorten that verse up. I rap for way too long. Like it's just trimming the fat, making sure that we show up how we want other people to show up for us, and we give music the way that we want to hear music. So I don't want to hear 15, 16, 18, 19 songs when 8 are filler.
Right.
Just give me the 10 that's crazy. Give me those 10. Give me that 9, you know?
Yeah.
Unless everything you do is just crazy.
Right. Yeah. No.
You
Then that's totally fine.
know? Yeah. Michael
Like,
Jackson or some shit.
right. So getting back into Heroes Eventually Die, I'll just run through the track list, and I guess just if you want to give me a quick description of what you were thinking about when you're writing it, or what the
Hmm.
track is about itself. So right off the bat, Auntie Anita. Like, I picked up that it was about Anita Baker, but what else is going on with that?
Um, we named it Antonita definitely because she's just a staple and my music memory from early on childhood, and she just being a voice of like reason and peace and calm. She's one of the only women and only one of the only artists that are women that I heard apologize. She has a song called "I Apologize," and so I was like, "Damn, she's rare." And but it's really just about bars.
Yeah.
It's really about bars. It's like it's chaotic. This is a chaotic time. This is a chaotic place. Like shit is wild right now, and that was one of the newer songs that was added to the seed that wasn't originally on there. And I just wanted to address things like straightforward, you know. So if you haven't heard me in a long time, I don't want this big ass intro. I don't want all of this shit going on. We're gonna get right to the shits, and I got it under control, man. You know,
For sure.
peaceful, calm, like how Anita sounds. You know?
Yeah. And I know you were just saying it was about the bars. Like it really is, because there's just so many things to pick up on. Just those random one-off bars that are just like,
This
okay.
is really a 2 hour podcast. It just you don't your fans, they don't want to tune in. They don't.
I know I can talk about this stuff all day.
Because I heard your review, and some of the things you took a different way
Mhm.
that I didn't mean or intend, and I was like, oh, that's crazy, that's dope. And then some that you were spot on, and then some I was like, yes, and dot 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 dot. So there's so many different
Oh yeah.
antennas that spring from some of those things that you mentioned. But
That's what I
yeah,
like about hip hop. You got like literally poetry in motion. Like it's
yeah,
just
for real.
there's so much to it. Like you can't really. I mean, you can leave it at face value, but there's more to it than what's
Yeah,
at the
that's not doing
surface.
it a service.
Yeah.
That's not doing it a service at all. Go to a museum and just walk through and be like, "That's nice, that's nice, that's nice," and then go home. Like you didn't really.
Like, what did you get from this? Oh, I just saw some
Yeah,
hangings.
that was it. Somebody drew some shit and they put it in the frame, right?
I'll get it, but it was
Museum.
there.
You live and you learn.
For sure. And yeah, no, like again, talking about the just kind of impressions or interpretations of songs, like that's everyone has their own interpretations. So that's what I like about this too. Like everyone gets something else from it that like you said, you didn't really necessarily intend, but that's dope.
Yeah, for real.
And then I guess the next track is Jesus Sandals. Uh, so what's going
Shout
on
out
with
to
that one?
Jesus. Uh, just God flow. Just just another slick talking, slick talking song. But
It's another rap
no,
song.
but yeah, yeah, just rap. I mean, it's just rooted in hip hop. Like it's just rooted in bars.
Right.
It's rooted in making sure that I'm sharp on my skills. And so I start the song and I'm, God flow. And this is just what it is. Like it's just the highest um, level of artistry that you could self-proclaim. So I've always been a fan of words. So yeah, we're gonna put words together. This is how we're gonna do it. And yeah, but no, it just goes into a lot. I can't think of like the bars off top, but it definitely goes into um, meaningful shit. Like it goes into how I feel about a lot of shit. And there's some police lines in there.
Mhm.
It goes into like a lot of self lines, a lot of self reflection. It's yeah. I just try to hit all angles. Just some jabs, some hooks, body blows, some gunshots. Some if you're gonna kill something, kill it.
Right.
you know,
Fair.
you know.
I really just like the line at the end, the no love toward 412 though. And that's
Yeah.
literally only because I was driving like right before the review. I was driving with my sister and she heard that and she's like, "But why though?"
How old
she's
is your sister?
she's 11, so
Oh yeah, yeah. That's tight. That's tight. She's like, what about 13 and 14?
exactly.
Does he have an issue with those numbers too? Who is this? Right.
I'm about to have a conversation about numbers with this man.
Yeah. That would tell her 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, buck 12, 13, 14, 15.
Every number
Those are
but 12, they
cool.
cool.
Yeah. Uh,
And then the next track is Free Diamonds, which just based off the title, I thought it was like you got like gems for people to like
mhm.
pick up and learn about. But I actually I don't think I even touched on that on the review itself. But I'm sure there's more to it than that alone.
That's yeah, that's pretty accurate. Um, there's a line in the middle of the song says, when you mine it, then the diamonds are free. Um, there's some other shit before that that was fresh, but I don't remember. Um, but yeah, when you take your time to learn yourself and to really dig through, you're gonna figure out that shit. You were the guy the whole time. You were looking for other people. You wanted this. You wanted it to be perfect. All of this shit like that. But yeah, mine your own diamonds. Caveat: diamonds are not the most expensive rare jewel ever. So you can feel like you're one of one if you would like to, but there's 7, 8 billion people in the world. You really don't mean shit at the end of the day. So there's just different angles to look at it. The same way you would do with a diamond, trying to find the flaws and all of that. If you really know about diamonds, then you know that the ones with the flaws are probably more rare than the ones without the flaws. And it's just this self thing. So diamonds are my metaphor for humans and people and pressure and creates dot and just the whole shit. So yeah.
Right. Kind of like how, or kind of like the idea that people themselves are the diamonds. They just need to,
hmm
I guess, mine themselves to figure that out.
mind your business. You know what I'm saying?
Like once you take a look at yourself, you'll eventually realize that that's what you are.
Yeah, flaws and all. You know what I mean?
That's dope because that's cool because it touches on a lot of people's like not necessarily insecurities, but just kind of like what people are questing for, like you mentioned.
Yeah, and our insecurities too, though. But yeah,
Yeah.
like you're questing for something. You're looking for something, but it's within you. Yeah,
Right. You got to figure it out.
you got to figure that shit out.
And that's crazy because like you don't, or most people don't really pick up on. it's within yourself until hell later, or like until they go through some things. So the pressure.
Right. That's really what the bars for this project are about. That's really what it is. It's just that rebirth process. I went through it and just kind of documented it and put it into hip hop rap form. Without those bars, it's still gonna be rapidy rap on purpose. You know what I mean? For the skill of rapping, for the love of the skill and the craft. But my individual lens, like the rarity of myself, is just my story. Is just my story. So this is how I'm telling my story. Somebody else, tells their story from another angle. I just went through everything changed. My name changed. My outlook on life changed. My everything. So I just rapped about it this way. I could have did it over R&B beats and made it a melodic, rebirth album on some weirdo Kanye shit or something. I don't know.
Try to fit in with the new wave.
Yeah, man, but fuck all that. We're gonna talk.
For sure. And I know throughout the project you did mention just kind of like, or I don't think you mentioned directly, but you mentioned some industries issues or stuff in general, like how some people in the industry have like a connect essentially to move them up, but clearly you're independent.
Yeah, I mean, not even a connect, just to move them up, but the want to be in the industry.
Mm,
That shit. Hold on one second.
mm.
Yeah, there we go. Just the want to be in the industry though, like chasing fame. So
Mm.
myself, Grand Nationxl, the core, we don't want fame. Like fame is weird. Fame is fleeting. It's like I don't know. Been popular since kindergarten. I think Ti said I've been popular since kindergarten. You's lame to me. Like we've been popular. We've been. I don't want fame. I want my craft to be important. I want rap to be respected. I want music to live. I want the things that I care about to find a home in other people's homes and really like bring the ecosystem back, kill the ego. We want family to be a part of music. The industry is just, it's the Truman Show. Like we speak about that a lot. Like it's not real. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It's just not real. If you believe in it, cool. It's real to you. That's cool. To me, I saw behind the curtain really, really early, and there's a bunch of weird shit going on, and I closed the curtain, and I was like, not going in there. So I understand it's a business. Then the music industry is a business. The music business. Learn your business. Understand your business. But it's also 2020. It's the Wild Wild West.
Yeah.
You don't need the industry to create your own industry. You don't need it per se. It helps. But I'm on a podcast right now talking to you. No industry. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's how
But
it
you're just
works.
doing it for the love of the culture mostly. Like
Yeah.
that's what it is.
Yeah. If you tuned out already, you just missed some jewels.
You got some more free diamonds.
There you go.
I mean, touching on the industry stuff, like I was gonna say, yeah, we're in a time where you don't need you don't necessarily need a record label to do great things. Like you can put out great projects and great music without having to have that backing, as long as you
Hmm.
have the circle.
Period. Like we are the label.
Yeah,
Why would I ask someone when can I put out my own music?
right.
I never heard an artist go like, "Is it cool if I paint something real quick?" You got to call his boss before he paints a picture.
And then they gotta make
That's
sure that it's
crazy.
all right. Like, now you gotta do it this
Yeah.
specific way. You can't.
Right.
You gotta
Right.
have your
No,
own
don't
sort of
draw.
touch.
Don't. It's crazy, man. That's crazy. It couldn't be me. So I'm cool. It
uh,
works for some people though.
oh yeah,
So
I
it
mean,
works.
sure.
And
Like
that's
if it
cool.
works
And
for you,
they're and
cool.
they're they're famous. And they're, you know what I'm saying? If that's what you want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Last year and the year after.
Hmm.
So I really like this one because it was like I just like when a rapper just has the beat cut and they just rap a cappella.
Talk.
But I'm assuming that that was intentional. But I don't remember if that was
No.
part of the seed at the end there.
So it was like, so you can only fit 5 minutes on the original seed with the lathe cut record.
Mm-hmm.
So I couldn't. So cut the beat, do a couple bars, and it's over. On this one, we can go as long as we wanted. So I'm like, I got that verse wasn't finished, but the beat still cut because
Mm-hmm.
we timed it for something else. So when I went and retook the verse, I just added another 16 to it. Like, you know what I mean? So it was kind of unintentional, but it was like, no, I got more bars for this verse
Right.
that no one ever heard that was in the studio with me. So I was like, man, fuck it. I'm just going to go talk.
That's dope.
That's it. But I was
Yeah,
nice
no.
last year and the year after. So
I'm just a huge fan of whenever that happens, honestly. It's
yeah,
just
man,
because that's when the rapper's like, hey, you gonna pay attention now.
you have no choice now. I got you hostage. If you
Yeah.
made it this far into the project,
Yeah.
I got you hostage. Now I'm just going to cut the beat and talk and make sure you hear, because people, oh, I didn't hear that, or I didn't understand that. It just goes over people's heads. So cut the beat. Hi, baby, how you doing? My daughter's gonna. How you doing? All right.
No, it's dope though, because yeah, once you get, well, it's nice that it's also like pretty much halfway through the project too, because like people have been listening all the way through, and then you're like, nah, you have to listen to me now. Like,
Yeah, there's no choice.
all right. Then we got Michael Jordan rookie card with D Bledsoe. How'd that one
Yeah,
come about?
shout out D Bledsoe. That was also something that we worked on fairly new for the project. So we just wanted, I don't know, one of those things where the beat comes on, you're like, oh shit, I got a hook for that. Oh, I got a verse for that. And then you just go in there and knock it out. It just felt, it was just natural. Called D Bledsoe, like, yo, man, I got something that sounds like vintage us. Sounds like what we used to do, just off the old saddle or something, whatever. And then he came and did his 1-2 thing. And yeah, that's it.
Yeah, no, it's a dope song.
That's it.
That hook would just be getting in your head too.
Yeah. And shout out to E40, I just want to chip, not the whole plate. It's a lot of Bay Area references and a lot of shit that we say and do. People go, "Did you mean to do that?" Like, nah, like that's all of this is intentional. Like all
Yeah,
of this is Bay Area rap influenced, playing homage. You know what I mean? We understand where we got it from. We just want to make sure that we continue to lift up those people. So yeah,
that's dope. That's actually just what you mentioned. How people are like, "Oh, did you mean to say that?" Like, I feel like a lot of times when people put something on a song like that, like they probably did it intentionally.
yeah.
Like especially if it's a person who's more of a lyricist, like there's a reason for these words to be put this way.
Yeah, like I think I had a line on Twice on Sunday, the one you were just talking about. Like I'll be independent for years. It was a Turf Talk line,
Yeah.
and someone asked me like, "Did you purposely do that?" Like, yeah, like I'm a rapper.
Of
I'm
course I
a
did.
rapper. I definitely took that bar and flipped it. Like, yeah, shout out Turf Talk.
Now, with the Michael Jordan rookie card, like it's really just my understanding of it was like it's just to point out some rarities, I guess. But I don't
Yeah, I
know
mean, just a slick
exactly
bar.
what you're going for.
It was just a slick bar. I
For
was
sure.
watching probably The Last Dance or some shit when I wrote it. I don't have a clue, but it was just,
So,
but also just saying I don't want everything, which is also rare. Everybody wants everything. You know
yep.
what I mean? I want the big house, the big car, the fan. I want this, I want that, and I want. But but why are you chasing it? You know what I
Right.
mean? What's the reason that you want those things? And shit, I just want a chip. Like, the 1% of a billion. That's probably enough for you to live off the rest of your life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It just depends on what values you have. So we just gotta come from that angle, but still having fun, still being playful with it. You
Right.
know, saying that a woman that you date, like, I fuck with you, whether you dolled up or whether you just chilling. Like, yeah, I got the model and she's super thick. We just passed those days. That's it. It's no disrespect to models that are super thick. We just, we just got past those days. That's all.
Right. I guess then we got Higher with Monty Draper and Jane Hancock. And
Another one we put together pretty quickly.
I was gonna say, like, it really sounds like something that came out of or could have come out of the sessions for Twice on Sunday. Like that, it had that
Um,
sort of feel to me, at least.
yeah, well, so me and Monty were probably, I don't know, maybe just a year ago. I don't know when it was, but we had the song and the verses, but we redid it the night before Heroes came out and
Oh,
sent it to Jane to get on it, and she sent it right back. I guess she might have already had already had her headphones on and be sitting at Pro Tools, got it, recorded it, came back so quick. Like, how did she do this so quick?
damn, that's
And
dope.
then and then we fucking uploaded it, put it on this shit because I like that hook so much.
It's yeah, I was gonna say like her hook is hella dope.
Yeah, that shit is great. Shout out Jane Hancock, man. Mariah, she's dropping October 2nd.
Oh, that's this week.
Yeah, she's on the way, and she's on the way. This album's crazy too.
That's dope. I look forward to it.
Yeah.
And then I think kind of like the rest of what I picked up on with that track was really just kind of what you said at the beginning, like being true to yourself and kind of like finding more about you rather than like what you're like what other people think of you or like what you think you want to strive for. Like it's more of like an introspective sort of look at yourself.
It just doesn't matter what other people think.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter unless you're trading money and you're creating a system, checks and balances and all that with your core friends and family and shit like that. But seeking validation, that's dead. That is dead. Seeking places to be accepted, that's dead. Like, just create your own space. So that's what we're pushing, like 100%, 100%, because time is wasting, and we've lost so many friends and family members, and whether it's street shit, whether it's health problems, whether it's what I mean, just unmistakable events. Sometimes it's just, you know what I mean. Like, we've been through a lot of shit just as people and humans, and in our crew specifically. So we're just not gonna keep asking to be liked. Like this, the things that we do are just for the people that are tuned in. So that could be 100, that could be 1,000, but we're tuned in to those folks, and that's what we're giving our attention to.
Hmm. That's dope. Uh, and then the next track is The Seed, which is really, is it? I couldn't really tell because I mean, I listened to the one off of Twice on Sunday and then this one kind of back to back.
Mhm.
Like, is it literally just the second half of Cousin Faith pulled out or?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay.
It's those songs were created at the same time, because in Faith to See,
Hmm.
but we split them apart because that one was also part of the original songs that were going toward like this creative project for myself, and just one of the ones that I liked. It got Deuce on it, DV. You know what I mean? Just um, my connection to Nip was important, and yeah, I felt like that was a good spot for it to repurpose that
For sure.
song. And if you didn't hear it and you're just a fan of me, you're not a fan of whatever Grand Nationxl has to offer. Yes, you are, because I'm going to make you listen to Deuce, and I'm going to make you listen to DB
Yeah.
anyway, because you might not have heard it in that context. Like, some people are just like, no, I only want to hear you. That's why it's ridiculous.
So no, you're gonna listen to everyone.
That's the, man. But yeah, that song is important to me. A lot of the seed,
Hmm. Yeah, I definitely appreciate
planted.
the Nipsey bit at the end too. Like
Yeah,
that was because after like well listening through this EP, it's like it sat with me a lot more. And I was like, okay, that's like I relate to it in, in the way that he kind of goes about doing things, or like he was talking about at least.
mhm. And so he basically sums up what I was just attempting to say.
Yeah.
It's only so much, you know what I mean? Everybody, some you got a bag yesterday. A lot of people had a bag, but we're trying to really go in and figure this out. So,
Yeah.
man, rest in peace, brother. You know,
Yeah, he was definitely a great influence, and I wish what happened didn't happen, but
sure,
that's just
same.
how life goes.
Yeah. So again, he's one of those heroes to me. Like, got a chance to meet him, befriend him, and go on tour and talk to him and pick his brain. And before the major success, so to watch his climb to being Grammy nominated was incredible. You know what I mean? So I know he just got it out the mud for real. A lot of people say that term loosely, but oh, y'all watched him do it. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? So yeah.
Yeah, he had that hustle.
Mhm.
And then the last track on this project um, was CP Time. And
Mhm.
the way I took it
Talk.
is really just how people think that black people run on their own time.
Yeah, they do think that. That's kind of what that space was for in the middle of the hook.
Hmm.
I'm like, I'm on time even when I'm late. Like, I just took a bar off. It just didn't speak, saying like, man, I'm nice enough to not rap if I don't want to and be late. But then, kind of to your point, yeah, CP time. You all know what that means. I took a long time to drop a project. It's just a lot of references to time and lateness. And as a Bay Area rapper, living in Oakland, I'm outside all the time. When you dropping new music? When you got new music? When you gonna drop something else? Oh, where you been? And I understand that those people aren't really fans. Those people are just people trying to have conversation. They don't really check for the music. So I'm like, oh, I just dropped Grand Nationxl. We just dropped 3 hours. You're not really checking for the music. You're trying to create small talk. So for them, it's like I'll be late. You're gonna miss this anyway. This isn't, you know what I mean? This isn't for the fickle fan.
Right, it'll come when it
So
comes, and whether
yeah.
you're looking for it or not.
Hmm.
Because it kind of like the other way I took it was like whenever I get there, I'm on time. like
Yeah,
like
like
whenever it happens, it's the right time to happen.
whenever. You know what I'm saying? Today, tomorrow, next week. If you fuck with me and my music, it doesn't matter what time I get there.
Yeah, kind of like all the fans of other artists who are just like, man, he ain't dropped something in hell long. Where he at? And they just keep bothering them.
Yeah.
like,
When's Kendrick gonna drop? You're gonna buy it if he drops
yeah,
today or 2 years from now. You're gonna go, oh, it's Kendrick. I'm gonna buy it.
yeah. Like it, if
Time
you
doesn't
are
matter.
really a fan of him, like it will drop when it's appropriate, and you know
Hmm.
that.
Yeah, yeah.
I think yeah, that was the last track on the album. Was there any particular reason it was listed as a bonus track?
Um, yes, because sonically, it wasn't it wasn't intentional. Like the
Mhm.
first seven were kind of intentional how they fit higher, also kind of fit in there um, better than I expected earlier on in the process. And I was like, okay. And then I just kept adding, going through my emails. Oh, I got this song. I got that song. Well, this song kind of fits to this song. And I just, just sitting on. I'm not gonna sit on no music. I'm not gonna sit on no songs. So here, I had this one. I could have kept adding more songs, but then we get into what we talked about
Right.
earlier, as of just adding so much that it's not. It was meant to be a sit down and just get immersed in words for 17 minutes, and it's less than 20 minutes. So now, if you say, "Oh, I don't have time to listen to this project," or now you're just not a fan, and I can weed out the people who don't fuck with me.
Yeah.
But if you fuck with me, that 17 minutes is not enough.
Right.
So you want more, and you want to replay value.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
So that was the project. What other plans do you guys have coming up for, well, you personally, but also just Grand National? I know Jane
New
Hancock's dropping
music.
some stuff, and then there you do have like a pipeline in motion.
Yeah, just new music. Just keep dropping new music. Grand National merch. The vinyl is out now. I think you might have bought the last hat. I don't know. Uh,
I just happened to be on the website when there was a stock. So
yeah, like the hat, the shirts. We got new shit coming, man. Just new merch, new vinyl, new projects. East Shore, Jane Hancock, Heroes Eventually Die, D Bless OC, Champ Green Seed. Um, Behind the Scenes is out. The live album is out, and season 1 is out. So there's no shortage. If you're tapped into what we got going on, there's no shortage of bars. Jane Hancock, Kate, they're holding up the melody end of the spectrum. They're just amazing artists and musicians. Like Jane records herself, like you know what I mean. Like she knows how to craft a song. One of the best songwriters that I've met personally, and I met a lot of people, but she's what I mean, she's one of the ones. Same with Kate. Like she's a musician. She's gonna pick up the guitar. She's gonna play the piano. She's gonna teach you voice lessons. She's just an incredible musician. So everybody, I mean, shout out to squad like Brookfield Deuce, Monty Draper, um, Ian Kelly, Black Achilles, Password, Basta, myself, Open Hearts, goddamn Champ Green. The list goes on.
yeah,
I mean, I can't even think of everybody. I hate when I do that because I can't think of everybody.
I know you can't just list a couple of them. You got to list all of
Yeah, you got to
them.
listen to all of them, man. Shout out to all our affiliates, you know what I'm saying, that are connected, yourself, everybody that's tapped into what we got going on, the fellows at Hyro, you know what I mean? It's just subdivisions, and we're just trying to keep building this culture, man, and building this ecosystem and
Sure.
spreading it around. So I appreciate you, bro.
Of course. I appreciate you for being on here.
Straight up.
I will. And I think that about wraps up all I got. Is there any other sort of
Uh,
thing that you want to mention or shout out? I guess I think you did a pretty good
nah,
job
just
already, but
Heroes Eventually Die on all your streaming platforms, man. You can also go to the iTunes store and purchase the project for $7.90, something like that. Um, the reason why we push that is because I need like 300,000 streams to equal $7.
yeah.
So it would just be easier for you just to go purchase the project and keep the art going. So I ain't got to be out here robbing banks to make albums. You know what I'm saying? It's just,
Can't be having that.
yeah, I mean, it's just ridiculous. You see how that turns out sometimes. So,
Shit.
hey, that's it, man. Heroes Eventually Die, man. The live album is out. Grand Nationxl season 1, Behind the Scenes, man.
That's what's
That's
up.
it, man.
Well, thank you for joining me. Thank you, everyone, for listening. Thank you for watching. Let me know in the comments below what you thought of this album because it's a dope ass album. And like I said in my review, you got 17 minutes. Go listen to it.
Yeah, that's a ride to work, man.
For
You
real.
can't even get to the grocery store in that time. Just play it.
Yep.
Tell
All
your
right.
friends.
Yes. Spread the word, spread the love.
Hmm. Hmm.